Right, hello everybody. Transform now again with the great, legendary, such a nice guy, Dean Lesiak here.
Legendary.
Yeah, so he's been trying to get his arms there, showing me, just sort of like getting the whole flexing bit going, yeah?
It's not working, is it?
No, because you're looking actually quite small next to me. You're looking,
Everybody does, don't they?
yeah,
The giant.
Come hench, yeah. Anyway, so today, because Dean is a good friend, he's also won many competitions, so just a general chat about how he got into bodybuilding, his wins, his lack of a pro card, and general health, and his life basically. So Dean,
So,
we were talking earlier on when you started off as a runner.
I was, yeah. I was very young and a lot skinnier than what I am now. But it was my school days. I kind of excelled in sports, not because I was genetically gifted or anything. In fact, I was probably the smallest kid in my year, really skinny, underdeveloped, lack of nutrition.
Was you bullied as well?
We had a bad childhood when I grew up, and that kind of gave me a strong mindset. So that was the key to my success, basically.
So you started running?
Yeah, I was always running away from home. I'd done a lot of running. When we got kind of pushed into sports at school, most kids, when you get tired, you get knackered, you give up, don't you? It hurts, it's horrible.
Yeah.
But I kind of developed this mindset that I couldn't give up, I couldn't stop no matter what.
Especially with the police chasing you.
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't until later on when I met you and we got into bad things, but I was a good boy back then.
Right, okay, good.
So, more cross-country, long distance running. I can remember like just going and going until I'm on the floor and being sick but still carrying on. And I won, I couldn't tell you how many races. I won, I was the best in the school at cross-country, 400 metres. We went on to win the district championships in cross-country. And that was kind of where it started off, and the first time in my life when I won something, I was rewarded and felt significant. And that became a bit of an addiction in my life. So I really enjoyed that feeling. And that's what kind of pushed me and made me want more.
Then you went into martial arts?
Yeah, I got a little bit older and back from our abusive, messed up childhood. I was always that skinny kid. I always wanted to be bigger and stronger, and mainly to be able to look after and protect myself, but my family, like my mom, who had to go through some horrific shit at a young age. So I got into martial arts and got a little set of weights. I can remember doing like 10 of these and 10 of these, and every single day. I didn't have a clue what I was doing.
Did you do any of them as well?
I didn't have a bench. That's probably why I don't have a chest.
Yeah.
But I did my squats. So little plastic set of weights. Then I got into martial arts. It was a good friend of the family. He used to be mad on, I don't know if you ever heard of Jeff Thompson.
Jeff Thompson, the old.
Awesome, really into
the bodyguard stuff and street violence.
Street-wise, he was a doorman, weren't he? And it was all like
animal classes you used to run, the old animal classes.
Crazy, yeah. So we did mainly Thai boxing, stroke, street-wise self-defense, and I loved that shit. It was real, it worked. Everything in Thai boxing was all knockouts, one punch, elbows. It was deadly. And then I was doing really well. I had the same kind of attitude that I put everything into it. So they wanted me to fight competition-wise, so they pushed me towards that. I only had a few into clubs, but I won them all. I remember the first one, I was 18 years old, little skinny kid, and they put me up against this guy I think he was 31 years old. He'd been doing taekwondo for about 10 years, Thai boxing for about 7 years. I seen this guy. This is a full-grown guy here. I'm this little skinny boy.
Fully grown man, yeah.
Yeah. So it was an inter-club, and I mean Bob Spall was the ref, awesome guy, and it was just like, it's just an inter-club. Just give the crowd a bit of a show. Like, there's no knockouts. It's nothing serious. I was like, okay. Barung, this guy come out, boom, tried to boot me in the head. Like, it nearly did. I went with it and wedge blocked it, just like copped it. I thought, this guy's not messing around, he's trying to knock me out. So fuck this. I broke his range and got in there, and I remember knocking him out first round. Then I got told off by the ref for knocking him out, but the crowd enjoyed it. It was a good show. I did a few more into clubs, and then I was kind of pushed towards bodybuilding.
So what made you go into bodybuilding?
Like I say, I always wanted to be bigger and stronger, so I wanted, like when I was at school, I was like 16 or whatever, this one kid I used to hang about with, he loved weight training, he'd get the Flex magazines, and I read up and learnt a little bit of basics of nutrition. And when Dorian Yates was Mr. Olympia, I was looking up to him, Dorian's God. So everyone would have their dinner break. Me and this kid, Will Francis, his name, we used to go into the multi-gym in the school on our dinner break, and we'd do like back every day and do lats because we wanted a back like Dorian. And
a bit like my back.
Just like yours, It's just as thick and wide.
Yeah.
And then, like when I left school, I was doing the martial arts. The weights were always there in the background. I used to do my own thing in the house, and then every Saturday, me and Will would link up and go to Ironworks gym. When I first started.
Bob's gym.
When Bob was there, and it was awesome. We just used to go there just to train legs, and we didn't know what we was doing. We just pile the weight on crazy weights and push ourselves till we were sick. Looking back now, the form was atrocious, but it was a good foundation, a good start. Then I was doing the martial arts. Then after that, I started going to a gym in Redditch where I'm from. It used to be Bodyflex, and now it's Fitness Unlimited when I started going. And the two guys that run it, one Mike Fox, the other one was Jeff Collins. Jeff was a former judge for UK BFF.
Okay.
And he's a photographer. He'd done a lot of work for the Flex magazines, and any top bodybuilder back in the day, Jeff had done pictures of him, like all Bill Fox, Tom Platz, a lot of them. Like, he sort of got me into photography. But anyway, one day I was in there and I was doing my Thai boxing class, and on the way out, he collared me, because he said like,
what, you'd be nicking something?
No, come on.
That's all right.
It's only when I'm around you.
That's fair enough then, yeah.
So I come out and he was like, well, we seen you in there, you got better legs than half the guys in the gym. So you ever thought about competing? I was like 18 at the time or something. I was like, competing? He says, I think you got really good genetics and good potential. You could go far, like with a bit of guidance. Yeah. And I said, bodybuilding, that's that. You stand on stage in tiny little pants oiled up. Look at me. I was like, nah, that's not for me.
Yeah, I normally just do that on Fridays. You said.
Well, yeah, like, but not on a stage full of people. Like, that's just around your house when we have those parties.
Yeah, don't tell everybody. They don't want to come, want they?
Women's lounge.
Yeah,
all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But so I just like, I didn't want to know at all. But I loved training, so I was hitting the weights hard. He kept going on. We became good friends, and he taught me basics about nutrition and how I should be training if I want to get best potential and muscle growth. And he kept going on and on about this competition. I was like, okay, I need some stability into my life. And this guy, he's a judge. He must know what he's talking about. So I'll listen to what he says. I'll give it a go. So he sat me down and he went through my nutrition, gave me a diet program. I needed to eat a lot more food, and then he showed me the ropes. Like, first we went in was training legs, and I just had that I would never quit attitude always from day one. He didn't train himself, but he knew how to grow muscle and what's best. He would push me until I was sick on the floor, and I'd carry on, and he'd push me and just obliterate my legs.
Old school training.
And then at the end of it, I'd be like, thanks, Jeff. And he always remembers that to this day, that he could just abuse me, and then I thank him for it at the end of it. And that was all I knew, because that was what I was taught from that age. So he kind of, I wouldn't say trained me every day, I did most of it myself, but like, he showed me the ropes and got me the basics.
Was that your first mentor? Yeah,
and then he said, look, if you're serious about competition, we're going to do UK BFF, which is like, at the time, it was the main one. It's the only one you could get a proper pro card. He says you're going to have to go down that road and think about taking steroids, because everybody else in the competition's on it, and basically if you're not using it, you're not going to have a chance.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, it's going to make me bigger and stronger. I didn't give it a second thought. I was like, okay, tell me the ins and outs about it. And I was very lucky to have him at the time teach me what's safe.
What was your first cycle?
My very first cycle was 1 shot of Deca a week. That was 200 milligram. And you remember P5s?
Yeah.
That was very, very mild. I think I was on three a day, or 3 to 5 a day. So 200 milligram of Deca, 3 P5s a day, and I put nearly 2 stone on with that.
Wow.
It was probably like a 10 maybe 12-week course.
How old was you then?
That was when I was 19. I started training hard. Did my first course then.
And when was your first competition?
20. So for that 1 year solid, we trained for the comp. So I did that one course. It was like bulking, just that little mild bit of Deca. I can't say the Deca and the P5s put 2 stone on me. In that process, I started training extremely hard for bodybuilding, and my calories went through the roof. I was probably, I'm not sure at that time, but I remember eating 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day, clean food, and that was a struggle to eat that much, and I was tiny. When I was Thai boxing, I was 9 stone. Within a year, I think I was about 12 stone. So I put a fair bit of quality weight on, and then I did another course, just like some, I can't remember what it was, some fast acting stuff, up into the competition where I did my first show, Mansfield Classic, as a junior. So I was 20 then, and it was under 21s. And I walked in and I won it. I had a really nice symmetrical shape, what they're looking for, like an X shape, wide shoulders, small waist. And I always had quite good legs from a young age. I just always lacked in the chest area. So I had the shape, genetic wise. I lacked a lot of thickness, and as a juvenile junior. But I got my condition pretty good for a first show. The diet was disgusting. I remember I didn't have a clue. I kind of just took his guidance, and we did pretty much a chicken and broccoli diet for probably 10 weeks of that. Nothing but chicken, broccoli and water. And it was horrible, but I didn't know any better, and it was just normal for me then. So I was killing myself in the gym. I was cycling to work. I was working in a factory at the time.
You're sort of funding yourself through.
I had no money at all. I mean, I remember bulking up, and I needed a lot of calories. I was eating tins of tuna and pasta. That's all I could afford. I was eating 5 tins of tuna a day. That was like 20p back then. I ended up blending them, drinking them in the brine because I couldn't stomach eating them anymore. So the money was always tight. Working in factories and stuff like that. I left home when I was like 17 and renting places. Some weeks it was either you pay your bills or you eat.
You eat, yeah.
So it wasn't the best lifestyle to try and grow.
So you eat, obviously, yeah.
Obviously, yeah. Some cold nights outside. Yeah. So we did the Mansfield Classic. I won that, and which gave me an invite to the British Championships as a junior. So that October we went to there, and I managed to win the British title, my second show ever, and became junior British champion. I think that was 2000. So I was 20 at the time, and then in their rules, basically, you could only compete with their federation. If you go with another one, you'll get banned or whatever. But if you win the British title, then you automatically get an invite next year, so I don't have to qualify again. Yeah. So I only ever did one qualifier, and then I think maybe it was tough. I mean, the competition was amazing, but I think I had an easier year to what there had been. I think the year before I competed, Stuart Cole was the junior. If you've ever heard of him, he was 18 stone, ripped on stage as a junior, crazy freak. So I wouldn't have stood a chance. So it was a little lucky that I had an easier year when I won, and my heart wasn't really in it. So after that show, I kind of got back more into martial arts, did more. We used to do a lot of sparring with Chris Rice and Ross Mason, he was top of
Yeah.
his game back then.
Yeah.
I used to more like help them and be a spar partner for when they're getting ready for fights. And I just remember one day we were sparring, just hands and feet. Ross was getting ready for a fight. He was coming up, and we were messing around. He took me down on the floor, and I had no groundwork. I didn't know any jiu-jitsu, nothing. And I thought, this guy's, I'm much bigger, I'm much stronger. I'm just going to throw him off. And no matter what I'd done, he stuck to me like a leech, and I felt like a fish out of water. I felt like when I was a kid again, and I had no control over anything. I felt powerless, and it was the scariest moment in my life. It was horrible. So from that day on, he could have done anything to me. He'd choke me out, he wrapped me up, and I felt pathetic. So I was like, shit, man, I need to learn this jiu-jitsu stuff. So then I really got into jiu-jitsu with Ross and a bit with Chris, and like never competitive level or anything good. I just learned the basics, and so I was comfortable on the floor. And I got to the point where I could never tap Ross out, but he couldn't tap me out. I was at that point there.
Yeah.
But he was very, very good. And then I did that for about 4 years. So I'm about 24. At the time, I'm now working on building sites, doing a lot of door work, security, and my life's all over the place. There's no structure. Yeah, being on building sites, I used to love working on there. It was a proper crack, but the kind of people there that just like crazy on the lash, drunk every week. I got into some bad crowds. We got drinking a lot, and when I got to like 24, I was like, I need to just change my lifestyle here because it's going downhill.
Yeah.
So I got back into bodybuilding.
What was that sort of point of realization that I need to change?
Just, I didn't like when my life was going. I got to a stage, I started getting a bit more mature. I was like, I'm spending so much money going out drinking. I don't have any money. The money that comes in, I go out. You spend £100 getting pissed on a night. Wake up with a bad head, you hardly remember what you did. You're like, this is just a waste of life.
Yeah, I had a great night yesterday.
A great night, I don't remember it. It could have been shit.
That's how good it was.
I mean, I could have went around yours, got pissed and got bombed or something, who knows. That would have been a great night, but not if I didn't remember
that
it.
would have been out mine, definitely. You forgot again.
So I just got to a point in life, I thought I need some structure in my life. And I just remembered when I was bodybuilding, it was the most structured part in my life because the diet had to be bang on point, eating every 2 to 3 hours, and it was regimental. The training was so hard, and I loved the effects you was getting from that and how you seen your body change. So I just committed to getting back to bodybuilding and doing another show when I was 24. So I set my mind onto that. Didn't need to qualify because I was a previous British champion, so I hit the weights hard for another year, put some tremendous gains, got into very good condition, and I was a light heavy, under 90 kilo, so I went into the open class, I'm British champion, I won it, a bit cocky, got blown away. The competition was amazing. I was like, wow. I'm at like intermediate level. These guys are big time.
So who was there at the time?
Oh, and the first year, I can't really remember. Maybe, I don't know if it was that year or two years into it. I really can't remember. There was some amazing physiques back then. But it might have been the year after I went there and I made the top 10. I was progressing. Yeah. It was against like Flex Lewis, James Wenning, I can't remember who was in my class. But anyone who's a good pro from the UK now I've competed against at some point. Yeah. But so I was progressing through the ranks, and then I made it into the top 5, and then I was against Flex when he won. I came 3rd. I mean, just to share the stage with people like that was incredible.
A great block, Flex.
Yeah, I mean, back then he's 1 or 2 years younger than me. So he was still like just come out of junior level. He was a juvenile. His muscle back then was phenomenal. At the time when I came 3rd to him winning, I was bigger than him. Like there was more muscle mass, but he blew me away. His shapes, his proportions, condition.
Proportion. It's just, I mean, he's a freak. Yeah, he is
his calves down to his ankles.
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
beautifully
crazy
genetic
proportions. So I mean, back then you're competing in the British. They give one pro card a year, the best of the best. You got to win your qualifier just to get an invite to the British, and then you got to be the best in your weight class to go to the overall, to beat everybody in Britain to earn that pro card. So back then, if you won the pro card, it really meant something. You got to be the best of the best. We kind of lost that now, haven't we? They're giving us so many pro cards.
Yeah, there seems to be so many federations and so many pro cards.
It's really been watered down. It's great for getting people into training and great for the sport, but I think the class of athletes have kind of gone down. I mean, I'm not saying that there's still some amazing athletes coming out of Britain, but there's so many average, or I'd say not even pro level, getting pro cards. It's all a money making scheme, isn't it? You got to pay like £250. If you're awarded with a pro card, oh wow, you won, and then they say, okay, you got to pay us £250 now if you want it, and you got to renew that every year.
You've won the British 4 times, haven't you?
4 times, yeah. So back then I went up in the ranks until I finally won it, and then
and still no pro cards.
Well, I won it twice then. I missed out on the overall. I was against some fantastic guys. I think then I was against Alvin Small, who's far from small. Haroldus, who was a monster heavyweight.
Nathan Yasha.
A bit later on, another time I won the British, Nathan came. I mean, I had a good chance of probably winning that year. And then Nathan decided to compete. He hadn't for 4 or 5 years. Turned up looking absolutely phenomenal. And I was like, there's my pro card gone. That's the time where he, like, fair and square, there's no way I should have won that. Sasan blew me away. Amazing. Luke Sando took it. James Hollingshead.
So all sort of like fantastic physique.
Sean Tavernier, when I came second to him 1 year, that was close. My condition that year was just killed myself. It was amazing, but I come in a little flat. I was so dry and hard, but a bit flat. I was better conditioned than Sean, but Sean's overall physique was phenomenal.
You've also had sort of
full muscle.
Political issues, haven't you?
Well, let's get onto that then. So
that's kind of the juicy part now, you know, the political issues. So what did you do which you upset everyone so much?
It's not so much what I did.
What did you do? Go on.
So in their rules, basically, if you win the overall, you get the pro card. But also, if you win the British 3 times, you can apply for a pro card. So the 3rd time I won it, I was too embarrassed to myself. But Simon Fan, he went to Bill Turney, who was like the main guy who runs the federation in the UK. And he was like, "So, what's the chances of Dean getting his pro card now? Because he's won 3 times. He wants to apply for it." And bear in mind, the year before, I just won the British, and I got invited to do the Arnold in America. Bill was sat next to me on the plane on the way there. It was just a small amount of us that went over. I didn't look my best, but I still made 9th.
Did you do anything to him on the plane that you upset him?
No, I think it's because I didn't do anything to him on the plane. He was just
You've got to give some time, brother.
I like big and hench, innit? You always make it wrong. But so I came 9th at the Arnold.
So I'm going to get my pro card now, am I?
No, you got no chance. So I didn't look my best, and the Arnold is like the best in the world amateurs. I was against like Sammy, Luke. There was some big names who are crazy athletes now. I was against them. I reckon I could have cracked top 5 if I looked my best, but I came 9th. I was well happy. It's funny because like when I won the British, I'm really excited. I said to my mum, "I won the British." "Oh, well done, son." I went to the Arnold. I went, "Mum, I come 9th in the world." She was like, "Oh, never mind. You can't win them all."
Yeah, you didn't come first, did you?
Right. It's only the Arnold. But so he knows who I am. I'm sitting next to him on the plane. He's invited me to go there. So when I won 3 times, Simon says to Bill, like, can Dean apply for his pro card? His first reaction was like, Dean who? You know, Dean Lesiak. No, I don't know who he is. It's like, he just wondered. The British, he had like a conversation. Oh yeah. Well, it's not really down to me, which it is. It's all down to him. He has full control over the UK BFF athletes. So he come up with some bullshit excuse and said, I'm going to have to take it to the committee in Europe and see what they say, which never happened. He just took his shit.
Became an EU issue, that's the thing. That's why we left Brexit. So we don't get these problems anymore.
Yeah, so it wouldn't happen now.
Yeah, it won't happen now.
So I thought, okay, well, fuck this. I'll come back bigger and better next year, and I'll make sure that they can't deny me. I'm going to smash it. So I came back and I won it again. Yeah. So now I'm 4 times British champion, which is unheard of. Because if you ever to reach it, most people will win a pro card. Yeah. If they reach 3, they will get the pro card anyway. Yeah. So I win it 4 times. So I go again and say to her, oh, we got a chance. Can I apply for a pro card now? I've got 4 titles. And he just made some other bullshit excuse, and he's like, well, you know, you got to win the overall, and well, it's in your rules that you can get it, and nothing was really said. And at the time, there was a lot of shit going on, and some of the judges with UK BFF wasn't happy, and they was leaving. You know, Warren from Purium?
Yeah.
He turned around to me and says, Dean, you know, you're never going to get a pro card. You know what Bill's like, because you're friends with Simon Fan, Lee Priest, Aaron Lambo. Lee's a lifetime band member, and he hates it. And I said, come on, they're not that petty, are they? And he's like, well, I'm telling you now, I know what Bill's like. You ain't never getting a pro card. So, okay, this year, Aaron Lambo put this big promotion on, done a UK tour. He brought Lee Priest, Tom Platz, Samir, amazing old school athletes, brought them over and did like a tour. So unbelievable. I mean, these like legends in the sport. I looked up to Tom Platz as a kid. Lee Priest was one of my heroes.
Mr. Squat.
Samir's Mr. Olympia. I mean, it's crazy. This guy's like 60, 70 and he's still got full abs.
Yeah, he still looks sick.
Amazing. Yeah. And so they did this little tour. Bill didn't like the fact that Lee Priest can still earn some kind of money out of bodybuilding. He hates him with a passion.
Why?
Because Lee likes to give his opinion, and he doesn't talk shit. If he believes in something, he says it. And if he's told to shut his mouth, he won't. And I don't see anything wrong with that. I love people that tell the truth and speak their mind. So many times in bodybuilding, when Lee was like top of his game on the Olympia stage,
had a phenomenal physique.
Unbelievable.
Phenomenal physique for his height.
Yeah.
Fantastic physique.
He was told what he can and can't do and what he can't say, and he had he didn't believe in what they said, so he would be very vocal on his thoughts. And he got into trouble with the federation many times. He got banned, they let him back in. He got banned, they let him back in. So eventually, like there's something petty, like when you're an IFBB athlete, you only can deal with IFBB. And he did like a guest spot for another federation or something because he wasn't earning a massive amount of money. He's got a house, a family to look after. He needed money. So he did some guest spots or something, and they banned him again for life. So he was a lifetime banned member for speaking his mind and trying to earn some money. And even to this day, they still hate him, especially Bill. So because Lee was coming over and earning some money off these seminars, Bill took it off his own back to try and put a stop to this. Every gym they was going to, Bill rung the gym and said, if you have Lee Priest at your gym, you cannot associate yourself with UK BFF. So Simon had been putting this out like adverts 6 months now. Lee Priest is coming, get your tickets. It's been out there all over the internet for a long time. It's come the day now. We're all waiting. Lee's coming. Aaron's bringing him down with Tom and Samir. It's going to be fantastic. He's on his way. He's en route. Tickets are sold out. The gym's ran full of people waiting to come and see him. Simon gets a phone call. It's Bill Turney. "Hi Simon, are you okay?" At the time, Simon used to put some of the shows on. He'd done the Grand Prix, brought it back. He put £250,000 of his own money into that show and pretty much lost all of it. It was a massive, like, it was a lot of money, but that's Simon. He loves bodybuilding and he does a lot for it. It was an amazing show, by the way. I was supposed to compete in it, and I was still in my hotel room when I was supposed to be on stage. But anyway, that's another story.
That's another story, yeah.
So, yeah.
With
Bill rings him up.
Was you with Bill in the hotel room, or?
No, it was with you again. Stop
there.
denying this shit, man.
I don't know this guy.
We go back a long way.
So after everything you did with Bill in the hotel room, you still never got a pro card?
Well, you should know you was there. You was the sandwich in the middle.
That's haram, bro. I'm a vegan.
Use the aubergine.
Alright, let's change the subject. Go back to
every time you put this shit on me, I'm going to stick you straight
Let's go back to the Bill
you.
saga here now, because people want to know about the Bill saga.
Of the Bill sandwich?
Yeah.
Oh. I think it's because he wasn't in the sandwich, he got upset. So he rung Simon up, and he was like, "Hi Simon." He's like, "Oh, you're okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I heard a little rumour that you might be having Lee Priest at your gym." And he's like, "Well, it's no secret. It's been on the internet. I've been promoting it for God knows how long." And Bill's like, "Well, you do know that Lee's a lifetime banned athlete." He's like, "What's that got to do with anything?" He said, "Well, if you have him at your gym, you can't associate yourself with us or UKBFF anymore." And so I was like, "Well, I promote the shows. I've put all my money into this. I'm making you a shitload of money, and you're telling me who I can and can't have in my own gym." He was like, "I'm sorry, but he's on his way here. I can't send these people home and give them refunds."
Why should you?
Yeah. So he said, "Well, that's how it is." That was it. The phone went down. Lee came. We had an amazing time. It's the first time I met Lee properly. We all went to dinner, listened to some amazing stories from Tom. And
he's cool. About the expo, remember? He was cool.
Yeah, he's great. Like, Tom was telling us all stories back in the day with Arnold and everything. It's an amazing time. So after that, Simon was banned, and he wasn't allowed to do anything to do with the federation. This caused uproar. Simon left. I think Warren had left.
Yeah.
Mike and Lisa, I think, had left at the time. James Collier was doing Muscle Talk ones. He used to do something. He left. Yeah. They all bust apart. It was just like it's gone too far. And then they all got together and decided to create PCA.
Yeah.
Ryan came in with them, and they all got together, and that's where PCA started. One of the best things for UK bodybuilding in my eyes. So
the shows are much more professionally run. There's a lot more shows, giving people a lot of opportunities.
They're giving back. They're putting prize money in, giving the amateurs a chance to get something back.
So at the end of the day, they basically said to you, you can't have a pro card.
Well, I wasn't told that at this point. So then, going back to the point where Warren told me I'm never getting a pro card, I was like, after all that happened, I said I'm going to put this to the test. So coming up, do I compete this year? Do I not? So we all went for food. There was me, Simon Fan, there was Aaron Lambeau, Randy.
It's the famous picture.
Randy Blote, Lee Priest.
Yes.
So I said to the waiter, do you mind taking a picture of us? So took a picture, posted it on social media, and I just bigged everybody up. Said how like amazing it is to become friends with one of your childhood heroes, Lee Priest. Like having these amazing people, Randy Blote, his great friend Simon, who's done so much for the sport. Even Aaron Lambeau, as much as a big mouth he's got, he's one of my loyalest true friends. And I posted that on social media. One day later, I got this message, like paragraphs, not directly from Bill or his phone, but from Bill to somebody else, to me, basically saying, how dare you associate yourself with these people on social media, you need to take it off, you can't do this, and blah blah blah. It's just basically telling me to take it off, and I can't be seen with certain people. I'm like, wait a minute, I pay money to you so I can compete in your show, to bring people to watch your show and make you more money, and you're telling me what I can and can't do.
Yeah.
So I said, look, I sent a message back saying, look, I've been faithful to your federation for 14 years. I competed 14 years, and 10 of that was in a row.
Yeah.
I said, for 14 years I've been faithful to your federation. I won the British 4 times. You never give me a pro card, and I'm still faithful to your federation until the day you tell me who I can and can't be friends with. And that's the day I walk away, and that's where I left it and walked away. And I said I don't ever want to compete or associate myself with that federation again. I did do a PCA show after that, but that was my last show, and that's where I left it.
And that's history then.
I never enjoyed bodybuilding, competing side. I love bodybuilding. I love training. I love pushing myself. I love seeing the changes, even the disgusting, horrible diets you put yourself through, because it's what gives me. Every human's got 6 needs, and one of them is to feel significant. What makes me feel significant is to be able to do anything that most people can't. So when I squat 5 plates aside for 20 reps, not many people can do that. I feel good. I get on stage shredded and win the British. Not many people can do that. I get addicted to that.
I'll get that when I can change a light bulb.
Yeah, I need
no one else can do that.
I need a bunk up.
Then I feel like, yeah, I've achieved something.
I only have 5 yellow pages to do that. You should feel good
Now,
about yourself.
Even the great Flex Lewis recently said that you should come back and compete. And lots of people think that you should.
Did
come
he?
back and
I
compete.
didn't get that message.
Yes, you did.
I couldn't understand it. It was in Welsh.
No, just English subtitles at the bottom. And but you've got no intention of ever competing again.
Right, never say never.
Yeah.
But right now, I got no intention. I'm 38 now. I'm 39 in May. I still got a good few years left in me to progress and get better. I feel I've not peaked in bodybuilding yet, but still I'm more on. I think a lot more about my health and longevity these days. When I was young, I just wanted to be massive and get as big as I could. These days, I'm happy. I stay around 100 kilo. I'm 102 kilo lean, probably 8-9% body fat. I can still comfortably lift 300 kilo. I can run 2-3 miles, and I can still kick somebody in the head and do pad work. I'm happy to be that kind of all-rounder. Trying to push myself to the extreme in anything, you're going to lose something out.
Yeah. There's a price to pay, a cost-benefit ratio.
Bodybuilding's not a healthy sport, and I was always sensible. I never took big dosages of gear. I always had big clean-outs, and I come to you for my bloods, didn't I?
Well, we did that thing before. We've done your blood, your scans, we've done your cardiac prop, we've done pretty much, and everything is good. So that's.
It wasn't just good, though, was it?
No, it was very good. So it's a
Somebody
testament that.
Gear for 14 years. It was exceptionally.
Well, it was exceptionally good. All right, I mean, calm
It's
down.
like the best show I've ever seen.
Ever. It's just, for a 5 foot whatever guy.
7.5.
Yeah, 7.5. The best thing I saw. Now, you have a website.
Yes.
And you've got lots of information on this. What's your website about? What's it called?
So basically, it's called Legion, and that's www.joinourlegion.com. You know how this industry's got, the fitness industry.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
It really roils me. I hate when I see people getting ripped off or mistreated badly. And that's probably from my shitty childhood and kind of, I want to help people. Kind of like you do, in a way. You've been through some horrible shit and seen some horrific shit, and you just tend to go out and help people.
My hair went white, look.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, you go see a ghost or something for that.
Yeah.
Crazy shit.
Exactly, that's the stuff after a ghost, and look what happens.
So, it kind of like you can either get angry and mad at the world, or you can want to help people. I went down the route that I really want to make a difference. We try and help everybody. A lot of people will take the piss and take.
Yeah.
It's not you stop doing things for people. You just got to get smart on who you try to help. So
so you don't sell programs $4.99 how to get your arms 22 inches in 14 days.
If I ever got my arms to 22 inches, I could maybe.
But see, if you pay $4.99, then you fucking get your arms to 22 inches, won't you? That's where you went wrong. God, send me a PayPal, and I'll write you a program, 21 days, 1 inch per day.
I seen a YouTube thing video the other day how to grow a booty, and I was doing like some 2 kilo kickbacks and some banded. That's obviously the way forward.
That's the way hams and glutes. That's the way forward. Yeah. There's
Yeah.
some dramatic music in the back.
That's how I win the British.
Yeah, exactly. Well, obviously you didn't impress the bill, did you? You didn't shake that booty.
If I would have done them banded squats in front of him, maybe I would have got it.
Maybe you just didn't do them right. You thought of that.
Yeah, maybe I wore too many clothes.
Yeah, but we'll change the subject. We're different of the point there. So you've got this website, lots of information on there, training tips, nutrition tips.
So the point of the site was I'm sick of the industry how people are just ripping. Everybody now is a prep coach PT. Yeah. People are training for 6 months, doing a competition, looking like a bag of shit, don't have any wisdom, and they're prepping people. And everyone's a PT, and fair enough, if you're going to charge somebody and get them moving and make some positive progress in your life, that's great. But if you're prepping somebody for competition, you need to be clued up on what you're doing, because these people are putting people on drug stacks. I'm not being funny, but how many years the qualifications did it take to get? How many years did it take you to get your qualifications to be called a doctor?
Yeah, it's been studying a long time. I
mean, many years. So if I come down to the local GPs, could I just say, I know a little bit about drugs, can I have a job? They're going to tell me to, you know what I mean? Yeah. So why is it allowed in bodybuilding for these prep coaches to turn around and say, I'm going to advise you with this drug stack and tell you to do this?
I think what the problem with the industry is that I like Mike Sheridan, another great guy, so, and we've discussed this many times, somebody wants to stack, you say to them, no, I don't think you should take that. So they'll find the person who'll say, no, that's fine, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
And because the industry is catering for the needs of people, not necessarily what's best for them, whatever they want. So you've got coaches who are giving out stacks, and they've been coached by other coaches who are giving them different stacks, and it becomes a whole spiral. Yeah. Everybody's become an expert, and with Google and a couple of books you can buy, bang, everyone's the expert, without looking at the long-term consequences of, and let's be honest, we've all seen it, you've got the great positive part of bodybuilding, and you've got great examples like Arnold, and other success stories with the whole life change, and yourself from a fairly destructive childhood to winning titles and being happy and positive, and so many other people. But we've also got the side of drug addiction, body dysmorphia, depression, violence, other horrible things in bodybuilding, which we've seen.
Pretty much everyone I see bodybuilding that big or to that kind of extreme are messed up in the head.
That is a sad reality.
Yeah, a lot of them turn to bodybuilding because they've been bullied or had bad childhoods, gone through these severe issues, so they've turned to bodybuilding, and then they stick a shitload of drugs into that already messed up cocktail in their brain, and it kind of sends them over the edge. It becomes addictive to them and makes it just worse and worse. So basically this, I got sick of people ripping people off, charging God knows how much money for PT sessions and diet plans, hundreds of pounds for a piece of paper they print off. So there you go. I don't know his weight and his body fat and his body type and how active he is. So how can, without knowing all that information, how can I know what diet is going to work best for him, what foods are going to agree with his body type, what he's used to eating? I don't know any of that, so I can't print a piece of paper off as a general diet and sell it for a few £100. That's ripping people off. But worse than that is when they're giving drug stacks to people and don't understand the consequence. You know some horror stories, and so do I. I know these prep coaches putting 16, 17-year-old bikini girls on like Anavar, Novadex, Clenbuterals, T3s, and these Anavar are 50 milligram Anavar, which don't even exist. It's probably D-bol or something. Right. Just go through what is that going to do to a 17-year-old girl's body at that age? Yeah, it's going to have some drastic effects on their body that's going to be irreversible, and they're going to these people and paying them money because they trust in that person. You're supposed to be a PT prep coach. You should know. You got the qualification. They set a 2-day stupid PD course, which is all it's done is taught them how to not get sued. They don't teach you anything.
I think the industry, you know, you've got lots of good guys in this industry as well. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
so
yeah.
bad, but it is going through a transition phase. I think it'll probably get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
But there are lots of people who are being positive, and drugs should be the icing on the cake. It's not, it's not the cake. And
Diet and training's everything.
no champion has won on drugs alone.
Mhm.
And we've seen lots of countless cases of people taking huge amounts of drugs and not winning anything. Like we were talking earlier, the guy who's in constant prep. It's like, yeah, I'm prepping for a show, mate.
Yeah.
5 years in prep, lots of gear, you know, nothing at all. And I think they are people who are discussing things, and they are good coaches around. They are positive examples. At the same time, there are bad ones around, and the whole psychological, personal, interpersonal relationship people have got. All this stuff has to be looked at.
Definitely.
It's not for everybody, and it would be nice where the coaches are realistic. You get realistic goals. I mean, see, I would have been Mr. Olympia personally, but you know,
just didn't want it enough, did you?
I didn't want it.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't want to stand on stage that I'm the best ever. So what I thought, now forget
Give
it.
them a chance.
I'll let everybody else win,
Yeah.
because I could win it any time.
You felt sorry for Philly.
Yeah, you know, Lee Haney in my time. So I
Oh,
felt for
yeah,
Lee
yeah,
Haney. So
yeah.
I'm going to be the world's strongest man, but I thought
Well, you
I'll let
could
them do it.
Took away his 8th title, didn't you?
Yeah,
But he was like,
yeah.
nah, I'll let
him
you
have
take
it.
the record.
Let him have it, because he had a hard childhood. I
Yeah.
thought, fuck you, I don't need that.
You needed
But you've
to
got to
be
know your
old.
limitations, and I think that in any sport, in anything, you know, your best friend, your coach, it's you have to be honest and say, these are your limitations. You're not going to do it, regardless of how many drugs you take. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And you know, your family and circumstances change, your goals change, your attitudes change. You can't put all your eggs into one basket that I'm going to win. And we both know top amateurs and pros who are fucking skint. You know, they've got their skin.
And there are pros who can't afford to compete because
Yeah.
there's no money in bodybuilding
Yeah, and
unless you're
it's-
the very, very top
the
of
top,
the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's like with the fighters or with everything. If unless you're the top, there's no money. So
Yeah.
there has to be a bigger spectrum to your life. So with yourself now, what's your sort of goals? What's your next 5-year goals?
Well, it's building up Legion really trying to help people stop getting them ripped off and give up the right advice. So on the website, obviously, I've got 14 years of competitive experience and I'm constantly learning, gathering information from the best in the world. So on there, I just put out shitloads, as much information as I possibly can. I have bodybuilding on there and competition prep, but it's more for health,
Longevity.
fitness, longevity. Yeah, get people who are carrying fat or they're not happy in themselves or they're mentally messed up. How we can help you in any kind of way. It's all on the website. We got Philippe on there. We got Jay Cutler on there. Lee Priest. You're on there. We got proper doctors. Dr. Khan. We got Dr. Josh Hill giving out proper advice on the drug side of things, trying to keep people healthy. So we just gone to the best of the best, and I'm a big believer. If you want to go and get a prep coach or a PT, don't go to Bob down the gym who's competed in one show and not done much. Go to somebody that's done it and consistently done it the best, because they obviously know what they're doing. How many years experience you got? How many people's blood results and that you got?
I
You
mean,
know
this,
the
but
patterns.
as I said earlier, and we've had this discussion with so many people, is go to the people, not to me because I want shit, because I didn't want to win. I mean, that's the clear point. I didn't want to win. That's why I didn't do it. But go to those people who've won, been there, they know how to prep,
Consistently.
and
done
they're
it.
healthy.
Yes.
I mean, you know, with all due respect to anybody who's got ill, and I don't wish that upon anybody, but if somebody has got ill through cycles, personally for me, probably the last person to go to for advice. And I'm not being horrible to anybody, but you know, if you want to go, you want advice on how to be a better strongman, go to a strongman who's won, who's been there. Because you'll learn a lot more from people who've been there than guys who haven't been there. I don't know what it's like to cut for a show, and because when I get hungry, I get dizzy and whatever. This is why, again, I couldn't win the Miss Olympia. I just started eating. But, you know, you guys have been there. You know what it's like when it's hungry, when you can't sleep and you're getting whipped and you're carb loading and sodium depleting and all this sort of stuff. Go to the people who won. And we've had this discussion with Mike as well, and lots of other people. You know, the whole panel of people who are willing to talk to people out there. Don't just go to Dr. Google and what's a good mass building cycle, what's a good cardio cycle, because you're not. This is going to be the wrong way to go. So
Yeah.
sites like yours, a lot of information on there, a lot of detail on there, interactive,
Yeah.
people can communicate. They're good places.
But more important, a bit healthily. So I think anything you can get anything you want in life, but you got to have the right strategy how to get there. So first you need to know exactly what you want in life. So if I want to be the best bodybuilder I can possibly be, I know I'm going to push my body to the extreme and it's not going to be healthy. So what do you want? You got to, as you were saying earlier, you got to play to what you've got. You have to be sensible. You need to know your genetics.
Yeah.
I know I'm not genetically gifted to try and go against somebody like Phil Heath. It's stupid. There's no way my body could cope with trying to push to that weight. I have better genetics than an average person, but they're not amazing. I could probably hold my own as a 212. If I was going to push myself to 260 pound, that would be mega stress on my system, and that's gonna. I'd have to be up in the drug dosages, up in the food massively, pushing my body to the extreme, overloading it to a really unhealthy point, just to try and beat somebody and get a trophy. Take 20 years off my life, maybe a lot more. So you got to see, where are you? A good example I was saying earlier, you look at back in the day somebody like Flex Wheeler, amazing genetics, tiny waist, beautiful shapes. He was what, about 250, 260 pound on stage or something, I can't remember. But you imagine that's a big weight. He didn't eat a massive amount of food to get that big, because his genetics allowed him to grow that much money, that much muscle on say 4,000-5,000 calories.
Yeah.
For me to try and get to that weight, I'd probably have to eat 8,000-9,000 calories. If I'm eating 8,000-9,000 calories every day, what's that doing to my body? My stomach's going to be constantly pushed out. I'm going to get eventually a massive bloated bubble gut. You're taking huge amounts of insulin and growths and peptides, which is all going to, everything's just going to explode from the inside out. I'm not going to look good. I'll get to 260 pound, but my body's on overload. I'm eating and taking stupid amounts of shit just to try and stand next to somebody who's the same weight, doing it healthily. That's stupid for me to do, innit? I'm going to die, and he's still healthy because his genetics allow him to do that.
He's a big guy.
You've got to understand what your body's capable of, and it's like you're saying, if anything you put in, there's going to be a consequence to it, whether it's a positive or a negative effect on your life. If to be the best bodybuilder, you can look absolutely amazing. You cannot be absolutely amazing and absolutely healthy. You can look good and be healthy, but you can't look amazing. When you're pushing it to the extreme, it's not healthy.
The same words, I mean, Dorian Yates said exactly the same. There's a limit to everything. Whatever you put in there is a price to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, the smart ones that have pushed themselves to that limit unhealthily got out at a good time and went healthy. They've dropped a shitload of weight, they've changed their lifestyle, they've changed their life, and try and bring back some of that longevity. Smart ones with amazing genetics never had to push to that extreme in the first place. But to me, like, if I'm Phil Heath and I'm going for Mr. Olympia to be the best in the world, and I'm getting shit tons of money and sponsorships, I can half understand why I would like jeopardize my health for that. But for somebody to win an amateur show, get a shitty trophy, to push your body that you're gonna mess your health up, to me is just retardedness. It's pure stupidity to push. Just the two most important things we have in life is time and health. And if you have no health, it doesn't matter how much time you've got, because it's not worth living.
Well, you're better off without the time, to be honest, if you're fucked like in bed.
You want to live, you can't walk, and you got to wear oxygen masks to sleep, and you know what I mean, it's crazy. It's not life.
No, just you're right. So within all your experience, if you could take your time back, would you have done anything differently?
No. As much as I've known about a lot of things in my life, even the most horrific, horrible shit that I've ever been through, I had to go through it to get to where I am
so that
today.
was the sort of drive of the market for you.
Yeah, I believe there's no such thing as failure if you get back up. Every time you make a mistake, you learn from it, you become a bit wiser. I like to think I'm quite wise these days, and that's purely because I made so many stupid mistakes in my life.
Yeah, fair enough. One, obviously with Bill, he made a massive mistake, didn't you?
Exactly. So yeah, but
Yeah.
bodybuilding now, I've got no interest in getting back into competing. But as for training, I will always train at least in some way. I love training.
And how many times a week do you train?
The minute 5 to 6, usually 5. I try and have 2 rest days. But if anything, sometimes I do more. But more I do.
Are you still sort of your compound movements heavy?
Yeah, deadlift, squats all day long. I love that shit. I love pushing myself, but I'm not eating to grow. I'm just happy to maintain, look half decent, but be healthy. I mean, sometimes me and Shao do runs in the morning. We do 2-3 miles, just first thing in the morning. Just get out in nature. It feels great. My style of training, I go really heavy, but I do big drop sets, loads of reps till my lungs feel like they're being squeezed out my asshole. It's disgusting, but that kind of keeps me healthy as well.
Yeah, that vision I've just had, that's, yeah. So
Did you make a little mess in your pants?
yeah, that's quite right. You also play the piano badly. You're playing the piano, aren't you?
Yeah, so there's a
And
lot
the
more
guitar.
to life, and I mean,
And you play with little ducklings.
yes, ducklings in the bath. I don't even own a bath. I have a shower now. But
But you're happy now, aren't you?
I've never been so happy in my
you're
life
happy, you're
since
content.
I stopped competing.
Yeah.
Because when I was competing, it's so regimental, so strict. It was awesome, but you have to be really selfish to compete, to look your very, very best, and that's what I struggled with. I mean, it is a story, horrific story. One year, then I won the British. Basically, my dad was an alcoholic. He wasn't a good dad. He was not there for us at a young age. When my mom finally got rid of him, he used to smash the house up, and he was very abusive. But when she went, we would go and visit him once a week, and he used to live above a pub and he'd drink a lot. But eventually, living that kind of lifestyle, he created. I don't believe you can just get cancer. He created cancer from his lifestyle. And he had a very rare kind of cancer that hit all his internal organs at the same time. And there was only 7 people in the world that were alive with this particular cancer.
Yeah.
So they were doing a lot of experiments and shit on him. They gave him 3 months to live, and he's as stubborn as he is. He lasted 3 years. So we had to keep going to the hospital and seeing him, and we got called in so many times saying, say your goodbyes, he's not going to last the night. We get there and he's outside on his feet smoking a fag. You're supposed to be dead now, what's going on? But that went on for a while. Anyway, I'm getting ready for a show, and you get to the stage where you're so tired, you're on 0 carbs, you're training so much, your body's shutting down. You just want to be left alone. You can't be around people, you can't go out to somebody having a wedding. You won't go to the wedding because you've got to be selfish, because I can't eat that food and I got to do this and my training. It gets that selfish. So we're about 6 weeks out now from the comp, and it's getting really hard. I go and see my dad every week, check in and see if he's okay. It's 6 weeks, I'm really tired, I'm really low. I'm getting really pissed off and moody. I don't want to go around there and let him see me like this and put stress on him. He don't need that shit. And basically being selfish, I can't be asked. I just need to be left alone. I put it out. I'll go see him next week. Next week comes, same again. I'm even worse. I'm 4 or 5 weeks out. Next week. Anyway, it comes like a week from the show. I still haven't gone to see him. And I'm like, you know what? Let's do something special after the show. We'll get the show done, and I'll take him out. We go somewhere, do something nice. I make the effort. And then it was the British. It was over a weekend, so I get a hotel in Nottingham. Go up Friday, compete Saturday and Sunday, come back the Monday. So I go up, everything was great, won the show, smashed it, come back, and then the day I come back, they said, oh, your dad died Friday.
Wow.
Nobody told me because they didn't want to affect my mindset, because they knew how important the show was. I just sat there, I was gutted. And to me, I was like, this sport has made me so selfish that I couldn't even visit my dad the last 6 weeks of his life because I was a miserable selfish. And I said to me at that point, I was like, I'm never going to compete again. I'm not a selfish person, and it's made me into this. And then a few months went by, and I rethought, but your hormones all over the shop. You come out and you shut your body down and all the rest of it. So I rethought it, and I was like, you know what? My dad was proud of me. Like he was there. He was watching me. He was proud, and he would have been so glad. He would have been gutted if I missed the show and all the rest of it. So I said, I'm not going to stop competing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grow from this experience massively, and make the fucking effort no matter what. So the following year I competed. Somebody's got a party or a wedding. Oh, I'm not going. I'm dieting. I make the fucking effort. I take all my food packed, and I go there no matter how tired. I put a big smile on for everybody else, and I enjoy the day for them. And it made me a much better dieter and a much better person. So it wasn't the bodybuilding, it's that bodybuilding attitude, and
it's that winner's attitude. I mean, Arnold had the same when his father passed away. He didn't go. And
yeah, there was a similar story, wasn't
and
it?
there's other athletes. There was an Olympian, and his father had been given 24 hours to live on the day of his race, and he didn't go. And it's that one track mind, isn't it? It's that sort of tunnel vision.
I mean, I'm not a selfish person, and it was really hard. But if I'd have had the choice to go and compete or go and see him on his last days, I would have gone and seen him. Yeah. I didn't know about it. It was my stupidity and selfishness that just became too lazy to go and see him, because I was so focused. Tunnel vision.
Yeah.
And you know what? Because we kept seeing him, and they give him 3 months. It's 3 years later now. He's all right. He'll be fine tomorrow. You'll see him next week. He'll be fine. You don't think about it, do you? But it massively makes you rethink life. What's really important to you? Like we were saying earlier, you know, people they collect up all this money and they've got no life, and then they get ill or they.
So that priority that you need to find. Everyone has to find that path and that priority, which they're happy on, and which they're content on. Any final words of wisdom?
Well, I'm just gonna say, like, if I was thinking what you just said there, I was never happy competing. It served a purpose. It gave me something to focus on and push forward, something to keep structure in my life, but it didn't make me happy. And I look back, it's because I had nothing else in my life. That was it. When I found a purpose in my life, like being able to help other people, creating Legion, meeting Shell, all the things I have in my life now, it's absolutely amazing.
Oh, that's so sweet.
But I don't need bodybuilding in my life now. Do you know what I mean? It's I love the training. They're there now. They're there.
That's so sweet.
But you know what I mean?
So since I've met you, I feel the same. You've got that thing.
It was that.
But you know, it's you meet a lot of people, but you know, you generally are a nice guy.
Well,
I mean, you're a bit short. I mean, okay, not much we can do about that.
Yeah, but I make up with it in heart.
In heart, yeah. And you've got some good guns, biceps. We were trying to compare earlier on, and obviously his arm's bigger than my fucking head.
It's never big enough.
Look at that, ridiculous. That's all it's about, because he's got big arms and chest.
Got legs, I've got no chest.
Yeah, no, you're actually quite small like this way. If you're like this, then it's like, that does. So thank you very much, Dean.
You're welcome.
As always, appreciate it.
Yes.
Great to see you again. And Dean will be coming more often. And the next time, we're talking more specifically about training, about diet, about biohacks. So hopefully Dean will come in regularly and not scare the fish. You know, when you come in, have you seen the fish have scarted off in the corners? You have that effect, they've just run off.
I like fish. It's normally my last meal.
Yeah, well, look, they've all disappeared. So, guys, thank you very much who was watching and listening, and I'll see you soon. And Dean, thank you very much again.
You're very welcome. So, guys, anybody getting into bodybuilding, rethink your life first. What's most important to you? Health comes first.
Cheers. Thank you.